What are you nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and today's book nerdigan discussion video is End of Days by Susan E., which is the third and final book in the Permanent and the End of Days trilogy. And I see what you did there, Susan. I see what you did. If you have not read Angel Fall, World After, or Permanent and the End of Days, then why are you here? Seriously, or watch any of my book nerd discussion videos on Angel Fall or World After. Seriously, go read the books, go watch the videos, and come back here so we can talk about it. At the end of this video, I will give you guys my final thoughts, and I did have a slight problem with the logic on one thing. It's been driving me nuts, and I will mention it at the end. And I want to know what you guys think about it, because it's been annoying as shit to me. But anyway, I love the cover, and if you guys haven't noticed, the cover has something to do with the state of Rafi's wings. Every fucking time. If you haven't figured that out now, then I'm sorry. You just need to use your point of observation. It's a very powerful tool, as Violet said in the Embrace Chronicles, or in the Brace series, I'm sorry, or the Violet Eden Chronicles by Jessica Shervington. So let's get to it. Thank you, Mini Popo, for showing the cover, by the way. Anyway, I really like how the writing is very consistent with Angel Fall and World After. It starts off the same way. It starts off right where we left off with Rafi and Penryn and damn it, Paige. I almost forgot Paige's name. Paige and Valil in the swarm of locusts, the mini swarm of locusts that Paige has in her control, flying to Angel Island. And this is after the huge battle they had in World After. And I feel so bad. The locusts are totally confused. Like, some of them feel the need to go back to Alcatraz, and then some of them stay with Paige. But anyway, so it's unbelievable how Valil is still alive after getting stung and parts of him absorbed by the locusts. And I'm going to say absorbed because the way they eat is very similar to Cell from Dragon Ball Z. I have to say it that way. And I've been saying it that way. So we're on Angel Island, back where Rafi and Penryn were hiding out. And of course, Rafi has thought of everything, and since Valil, my guess is because Valil is so weak, that's why Rafi thought the chains would hold him down. Because I think if it was a regular angel, chains I don't think could hold a regular angel, like a fully strength angel or fully strength demon down. So that's my guess. And we find out that Valil used to be a Watcher. He's a former Watcher, which was a shocker to me. And it ends up becoming a huge thing throughout the book. I was just like, wow, Valil's a Watcher, holy shit. And Valil says that, I think it was Valil that mentioned it, that being an angel killer, or it was either Valil or it was Rafi that mentioned to Penryn that being an angel killer basically is an automatic death sentence. So, and something that was, yeah, I think it was Rafi, something that was driving me nuts in this part of the book, and I understand why Rafi was in denial, but at the same time it was like, what the fuck? Seriously, Rafi, after all that shit we saw in World After, where the Hellions are chasing after you and Penryn, because the Hellions knew that the Hellions saw you with Penryn. She is your daughter of man. There's no fucking denying it at this point. And tell me if I'm wrong. There's no need to deny it at this point, Rafi. Honestly, there isn't. And I love this little moment they have here, this little conversation. I thought it was hilarious because it totally reminded me of a Bulma and Cheetah moment. It did. When it started with Rafi says, "You mean because I'm beyond perfect?" And Penguin's like, no, because you're so humble. And Rafi goes, humility is so overrated. And Penguin's like, so is self-obsessed and babble, apparently. And Rafi's like, real warriors don't have time for psychobabble. And Penguin says, so is rational thinking. Oh, I thought that was hilarious. And, so now we get to the cuddle time. Like, at first, they weren't going to cuddle, and Rafi was going to sleep on this hard settee, but he changed his mind, because even though he slept, Rafi was bragging that he slept on rocks and snow, and he says, I have, that's why I sleep in a soft bed whenever I can. And then there was this random moment when they're cuddling, and I did not like how it was written this way. I'm sorry, Susan. I did not like how Penguin had this random thought on what it would feel like for Rafi's hand to be on her breast. I think she should have been more seductive. She should have been like, it should have just been a reflex. It kind of reminded me of, I have to be honest here. If you have read 50 Shades of Grey, and you know how that writing is when it comes to the sex scenes, that's what this scene reminded me of. But, like, after she put Rafi's hand on her breast, like, after that, then it was good. I was liking the writing from there, and then Rafi just stopped, and then it was like, what? What? No! No, Rafi! You, like, just stopped yourself, and it's sucks, but I understand why Rafi did it. But up till there, it was good. Like, I just did not like how you had that thought in Penguin's head. I understand why why she was thinking that, but just the way it was written was really just so 50 Shades of Grey Anastasia, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like Susan. You're a much better writer than this. I just didn't like it. You wrote better intimate scenes in, I will have to say it, you wrote it better in Angel Fall, and I think there was a little bit better stuff in World After too, I would say, when they were in the cabin the first time. I just did not like how it was written. I just thought, I was like thinking, that's gotta be the most random thing I have ever seen. What? Anyway, let me move on to the next part. So after Rafi goes off, it's like, shit. Rafi was being such a tease. I would have smacked Rafi. I would have. But Paige is snuggling with Belial, and I'm telling you, it's full-on Stockholm syndrome going on there. Then we're going inside Belial's memory via the sword contact, because of course you have to give in to Belial, because the temptation was totally real. Oh my God, Belial was such an asshole. But it was interesting. So we see Belial's original wings are the color of a dying sunset, going into the transition and chained to a wheel controlled by a demon lord, and he was betrayed by Rafi because he was claiming he was betrayed by Rafi, because he couldn't protect Belial's love Mira from being killed by Hellions. And this is supposed to be a memory, but for some reason, Penguin gets spotted by the Demon Lords, and she hightails it out of there, and Hellions are jumping out of Belial's back where the sword is, and they are leaping out of the memory. And, which is freaking crazy as shit. I was thinking, what the fuck? How is this even possible? I think it's interesting how it happens, because you have these Hellions from hell jumping out of Belial's back, out of a memory, and into the real world. Of course, Penguin's able to handle herself, no problem. And then Rafi comes like a few minutes later, like after the situation is in control, basically. And we learn from Rafi that angels go commando. And I was thinking to myself, that's a little TMI, but that's good to know. And the Hellions released Belial, because this was after Penguin's like, shit, I need to go get Rafi, like, right away. So Penguin runs to go get Rafi, and she didn't kill the she didn't kill all the Hellions because she was outnumbered, of course, so she went to go get Rothy, and that's what happened. So, the leader Locust, oh god, the leader Locust. That guy is, I'm gonna call him Perfect Cell. I swear to god, Kami, he is like Perfect Cell. He is like beefed up, he has a gray streak, and he's back, and he's not listening to Paige at all, and he's huge, and he's killing the other Locusts. I love this one line. Well, he kills some of the other Locusts, and then only 3 are left, and the rest of the Locusts, or a couple of other Locusts go with the leader with the gray streak. And poor Paige, she's crying. But I love this one line that is that's in the that was in there. It was pretty fucking hilarious. Humans aren't that primitive. We have Viagra now. I was like, that's gonna be the most random thing ever. I think this was when they were in Macy's. And then we have the kiss in Macy's, and I was like thinking, oh yes, this is what I was talking about. Like, this is the writing that I like. This writing was not in the beginning when they were in bed, Susan. I'm sorry. This is the writing that I like. That was shit writing in the beginning. I don't know what the fuck was that, but this is what I like. So then we had the awkward moment, that awkward turtle moment. Hashtag awkward turtle moment, when Pemron's like, I'll go fly in the Locust arms. I'm like, shut up, Pemron. I mean, yeah, it's kind of awkward to fly in Rothy's arms after you've been rejected, but shit, I would not fly in a Locust arms. Please tell me, would you want an imperfect cell to hold you, or would you want to be held in Rothy's arms and not risk being stung and absorbed by an imperfect cell? I swear to Kami and Arceus, I would rather be held by Rothy. Plus, that man is hot as hell. So, the Locust victims, so they get back to the camp, to the resistance camp, because they can't be in paradise forever. So the Locust victims weren't accepted by the resistance as predicted because they thought they were zombies. So, yeah. And Pemron is the talk of the camp, and there's a bounty on her head by the angels. And, oh my god, so then there's the poster of the talent show at the Stanford Theater. So you win a luxury bulletproof, the prize is the luxury bulletproof RV filled with survival needs from you-know-who. And the first thing I thought was Voldemort confirmed. If you haven't read Harry Potter, you don't know what I'm talking about. If you haven't read Harry Potter, then have you been living under a rock? Seriously. Oh, I love the comments on the poster. The comments on the poster, the troll comments on the poster were so fucking funny. Like, nothing could be bigger than Obi's ego. Is that what the ladies call it? Hey, Obi, leave some of the rest of the women, leave some of the rest of the women for the rest of us, would you? It's the talentless show. Be nice or I'll crack your skull and drink the sludge inside. Will the contestants be wearing clothing? I sure hope so. Have you seen the men here? Harry, seriously, Harry. Yeah, these guys must miss the internet. Seriously, the trolling confirmed here, man. So you have, I love how Susan brought a lot of the characters back here from Angel Fall. So you have the clerk from the First Airy Hotel, the woman that Pemron did laundry with, and the original cook from at the Resistance camp are here. And I don't think I mentioned it in my Angel Fall book during a discussion, but there were dogs there, and they had to, sadly they released the dogs that were too loud once they found out about the angel super hearing. I was like, oh, poor puppies. So I love D. So yes, obviously D-Dum are back, and I love when they were talking about D-Dum, Rothy versus Godzilla. That shit was so funny. He's not a mere mortal. Look at him. He's probably got some super straight badass juice in his pocket right now. One gulp and his muscles will have muscles. Yeah, we wouldn't need scary little girls if we had a few like him in our army. What do you think? Pemron's sister could take on Godzilla instead? Nah, probably not. Maybe her mom can, though. Yeah, there's also a bounty on Obi's head as well. Go figure. And Pemron's mom is a kick-ass captain now as well. And yeah, the doctor got his arm broken as well. And the Hellions are attacking, and oh my, call me Narcissus. And what scares them? Guess what scares them? The rotten egg scared the Hellions because it reminds them of the Demon Lord. So Penryn's mom knew the whole time about the rotten egg scaring the Hellions. So it makes you wonder if Penryn's mom wasn't crazy the whole time because she was seeing the Hellions. So, schizophrenic people, if you are seeing Hellions and carrying rotten eggs, okay, we'll take you seriously from now on. So, now we know how to survive the Hellion apocalypse. Rotten eggs. So, Mom's friend has a message. This message is freedom and gratitude. Trust my brother. He's waiting for you downtown at the church with the stained glass. And then you have the cult members. Oh my, call me Narcissus, the cult members. Because I didn't mention it too much in World After Nerdigan discussion, but I realized this. So in World After, I noticed that they focused a lot of shit. A lot of this book was focused a lot more on the gangs and how they run stuff. And this one, I will say, is focused a lot more on the cults. So I will say that. So AngelReadAthon is a lot more on the resistance. World After is more on the gangs and /resistance, and this one, End of Days, will be like the cults and the resistance. More so the cults and the resistance, which I think is really a nice balance, and I like that because of what Susan Eanes said, that you could either be in the World After, you can either be in a cult, the resistance, or a gang. So I really appreciate that she included that. Okay, so cult members are sacrificing themselves to Paige, and this is what her mom's friend is a member of the cult. So it's true, I have been chosen. I am honored to nourish the Great One who has resurrected the dead and will lead us to heaven. My spirit will be renewed as my flesh nourishes the Great One. And Paige is still her. She refuses to eat humans because she's a vegetarian, for one thing. So she still won't eat humans, which is pretty good. She'll eat when she has to, I think, though. So now we get to the church and we see Josiah. And we find out that, well, we also find out the resistance that the humans are, that Doc is creating a human plague, or not human plague, an angel plague, and the humans, and the angels are, and Layla is creating a human plague. There we go. So we find out from Josiah that it was Uriel that killed the messenger. Yes, people, Uriel killed the messenger. And Uriel said that Gabriel had gone insane, that he hadn't actually spoken to God in eons, that he'd made up all the rules that God had supposedly commanded him to make. He said that there was no reason why Uriel couldn't be the messenger, that he could lie as well as Gabriel, so Uriel had him killed. Killed! He admitted it. We don't kill our own. The last time that happened, Lucifer and his armies fell. It was kind of a big deal. Yes, it was, Josiah. It was kind of a big deal. And then Rafi had to leave, and oh my god, that kiss was so sad, the goodbye kiss! Oh my coffee. And Penryn is trapped by the new Dawn cult members so they can get the bounty. And the driver of the car that they put her in is Two-Face. I swear to Kami is Two-Face. Because half of his face is burned off, you know what I mean. But I like the conversation she has with him, that dialogue, and I like that she says you have to, it's like talking to someone who's is disabled, like with the people in Paige's disabled classes or whatever. And I thought that was really sweet. And I like the awareness of that too, because a lot of handicapped kids and handicapped people, myself included, are looked at differently. I have an invisible handicap. No one can really tell unless I specifically say what my handicap is to people. They're just like, what? You're mentally disabled? Physically disabled? Yeah, I am actually. It sucks, but yeah, I am. Oh, here we go. Then we get to the, and Pemron even says it too. Pemron says that her problems are something you can't see, and I'm like, yeah, as I said, my problems are something you can't see. So then we get to the angel elections, and the angel elections kind of remind me of what is it? The Demon World Tournament a little bit. And Yu Yu Hakusho and how they're doing elections now by doing how they're at the end of Yu Yu Hakusho by doing a tournament and fights to the death, that kind of shit. So if you tell me if I'm wrong, but anyway, the angel elections are the one angel with the most winning fights wins the election. It doesn't matter how many fighters you have, but the quality of them. And yeah, that's why I said it kind of reminds me of Yu Yu Hakusho in a way. And Belial got backstabbed by the Hellions and is locked in the cage, and Pemron's gonna go be on Pemron's on a warrior trial and by the angels, and the last one alive wins. So it's Belial and Pemron versus all the Hellions. And I love what Belial says. He says outmaneuvered by Hellions and is threatened by his scrawny daughter of man. Insult upon insult. And then we got Rafi is back with his wings. Yeah, Rafi came back with his wings because remember, Rafi had his he cut off his wings off of Belial in World After. So, yeah. And he's crashing the trail. And seriously, Uriel is on some serious Mr. Popo acid. He totally is. Because he says this. God just spoke to me. He says the end of days begins now. And I see what you did there, Susan. I see what you did there. And a beast shall rise up from the sea, and upon his head is the name of blasphemy. And let us count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 666, a.k.a. 666, the number of the beast. Yeah, I had to go there. And my comment, this Hydra, I'm calling it a Hydra, okay? This Hydra is fucking drunk, I swear. So it has multiple animal heads. It has a leopard, hyena, and eel. And I think, Susan, you should have had a crocodile head for Sobek. And then you had a lion, a giant fly, which shouldn't have been on there. I think you should have had, like an Anubis head or something. Or, like, something to stick with the African animal theme. Hell, maybe a cheetah head or something. Or, yeah, a cheetah head would have been awesome. That's what I think. Where's the other one on here? Oh, and a dead-eye shark on the body of a bear with 666 tattooed on each head. That's why I'm saying, Hydra, go home. You are high, not only high on hashtag Mr. Popo acid, but seriously, you are drunk on some Kool-Aid. My Connie and Arceus, these angels are so fucking drunk. What are you guys thinking? At least stick with a common theme. Why couldn't you at least just a regular Greek Hydra or something? Jesus Christ. I mean, Connie and Arceus, I should say. And then we got the trial by election, Rafi versus Uriel, because Michael he honestly doesn't give a flying fuck. Whoever wins is right. So we have Sacriel is Uriel second. I love that it's Sacriel. Sacrifice. I see what you did there. I see what you did there, Susan. I see what you did there. Is Uriel second, and then Rafi chose Pemron as his second, which I thought was really sweet. And what Josiah says is it's traditionally meant to make sure that no one stands alone. So it's like, aww, angels are so sweet. They don't want to ever stand alone. And no one declines the honor of being second, was completely optional as to whether someone joins the team by contest. And Rafi and so they decide that they need to go to hell and get the Watchers to help Rafi. So they go through Belial to go to hell. But they get separated somehow, and Pemron meets the Watchers in the hunting district of hell where the newly fallen are the prey. So we have Howler with brown and yellow wings, Hawk, who has blue tinged wings, and Thermo and Flyer and Big B, who is Belial and is blind, and we have Little B and Cyclone. And I love that Pemron is the Angel Slayer, because that was the Angel Slayer and became one of the Watchers. I thought that was sweet. and Belial's on the flying head. Belial on the flying head, screaming a new body on the flying heads of the demon lord's whips. Excuse me. They're flying heads screaming a new body. They're desperate for it. Welcome to the pit. Like it or not, you've just joined the initiation for the new fallen. How long initiations go for? Seriously. And how long do they go for anyway? Until you become consumed or something equally horrible. Or it is possible the pit lords might feel like promoting you out of maggot status. So that might explain what happened to the Watchers, is they either were consumed, they were, or something equally horrible, obviously, or promote you out of maggot status, or were promoted out of maggot status, but we don't know, and that frustrates me. I want to know, Susan. I want to know what happened to the Watchers before, you know, Cameron went back to hell for them. Please tell me. I want to know. But Nerdigan, what is your theory on where the Watchers were prior to the Watchers being rescued? I really want to know what you guys think. Because obviously they can't be the burnt angel wing angel or some of the other angels because they have angel swords. And the fallen can't have angel swords. Let's see. And what the heads are on the whips they're the consumed. They're the ones that didn't make it through the initiation. There's a legendary feast that goes amongst the pit lords, and the consumed are the ones who were sacrificed for the feast. We can grow back a lot of things, but not even whole or even major parts. Oh my god, I might just have a nasty thought. But when you're in the pit, there are the infinite opportunities for more misery. The consumed cry out by the thousands to be included in a head whip for the chance to claim a new body. And on the pit lords, here we go. This is what Belial says. Rumor has it some of the most powerful pit lords were once consumed. Of course, by the time they reach pit lord status, they're beyond insane, becoming and then for some reason, Penman became friends with Belial. It's like, oh my god, that's got to be like hell has totally froze over. And basically, you're in the ruins of the Hellion world, might as well. And then Rocky shows up, and then seriously, eat shit and die, Demon Lord Wings, and it's teamwork with the Watchers. And then Flyer dies, and it's like, no, Flyer! Well, we know what happened to one of them. He gets killed by consumed, and the Demon Lord wants to deal with Rafi, and he says to take a bite of this apple, this nasty apple given to him, and it will bring the Demon Lord to wherever he is. And the Hellion civilization was actually ruined by Lucifer. So I don't know what you guys think, but I kind of would like to get more insight on that. So if Susan, if you could do a novella on like a prequel novella on the Hellions before Lucifer came, that would be fantastic. Please, I would love a novella on that. If you put Nerdigan's one novella on the Hellions, kind of like how Despicable Me did, or the people behind Despicable Me did a thing on the Minions, please mention that in the comments below. Let's see. And it turns out that Gabriel was wrong. The Nephilim were never monsters. They will be monsters in a different series, but not in this series. And plus, what Rafi was doing was waiting until the bloodline thinned out. And then we had a notebook rain moment. And I was like, oh my god, it was amazing. And Rafi ignored it. They're still in hell, keep in mind. And Rafi ignores it and continues to kiss me. We hold each other, pressing tighter and harder together. So yes, they had sex in hell. I was like, oh, that was so perfect. That was amazing. Susan, that's the writing I like. That writing in the beginning was shit for a love scene. This is the writing I want out of you. And then, and that was so funny when Cyclops got pissed off. That was so funny. So, oh, this was so sad when they were leaving Hell and Belial was being left behind. So basically, because remember, in World After, Belial said that he felt unloved and unwanted. So Belial being left behind is when he started to feel unloved and unwanted. And I felt so bad. I was like, oh, poor Belial. The feels for Belial. Like, you feel so bad for him. So coming out of the pit into a truck, Mom is driving, and Paige and her locusts are following. And seriously, go Paige, Penguin's mom. She said, of course not. Those people are all nuts. They'll regret having sold you out. I made sure that if Paige eats someone, it'll be someone outside their cult. It's the worst punishment they can imagine. I love her mom. And then Mom is destroying random shit. Seriously, hashtag get wrecked. And Paige always has 3 locusts with her. And Belial died because of the portal, which is really sad. And I loved how they did the memorial for Belial. It was so beautiful and so sad. And the watchers weave a beautiful dance in the dawn sky beneath Belial's shower of fire. And what Rafi says here is they won't let him fall to the ground. His brothers will keep him from falling. And it was like, oh, it was so sad. And then giving Pookie Bear back to Rafi and another farewell kiss. I was like, oh my God, it was so sad. I was like, no. But it had to happen. And then we had another mother-daughter moment. It was beautiful. I was loving it. And then we had Josiah here. Josiah's saying, Raphael sent me to tell you not to go to the resistance camp. You need to stay away from a large concentration of people. The trial by contest is going to be blood hunt. 2 teams hunt as much game as possible. It starts at dusk and ends at dawn. At the end, whoever has the most kills wins. Uriel insists there's only one prey worth hunting, the only one that's attacked back. And Obi is dead. Yeah, Obi gets killed. And that means Tyrant has to lead the resistance. And the Angels set fire to the south end of the peninsula, so there's no way out. So it's time to go to the battle. It's the Battle of the East Bay Bridge. And I love what Pemron said. This is Pemron Young, daughter of man, killer of angels. I was like, yeah, you go, Pemron. And I love how these have become the Blue Rangers, and they put blue dye in their hair and their blonde hair, so they're like blue and blonde spotted hair, and they call it war paint. And I love what the Colonel says. He's like, that wasn't what, because it's Didum and the Colonel, and I think Pemron and her mom. And the Colonel's like, that wasn't a nightmare I was referring to. Just my stupid comments is what I was talking about. I thought it was great. Oh, and the thing that I was referring to, the Pemron Young daughter, man killer of angels, that was all on the loudspeakers. And the gangs and refugees come together for the last stand. And you have Tattoo and Alpha are there. If you guys don't remember, they were they were in World After, and their real names are Dwayne and Randall. And you have Two-Face. I mean, the scarred limo driver is back. And you have over 1,000 people showing up to either fight or for the RV, because they're doing a talent show. They're still doing the talent show. So you have the talent show lineup, you have the SF Ballet, or whatever's left, 12 compared to 70, performing what they rehearsed the day the world ended, and dedicate to their family the dancers that didn't make it. And and this was so sad. I was crying when I read this. And Dancing with the Ghost Partners. And one of the missing dancers was in the audience, and they came up during the dance with the dancer to finish the dance, and there were so many feels. Everybody was crying. I was crying too. I was like, oh my God, the feels. If you were not crying, I will be shocked if you were not crying or not cheering that when that happened. That was such a beautiful scene. And then you have Didum doing comedic magic, and then, oh, this part was amazing. So there was the kid singing and playing Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley and on his guitar, and continues to play different songs, even though the Angels are here. And wait, the locusts are here too. And Whitestreak is here, and they're hurting Paige's locust and making her cry, and now the angels are here. And then Paige kills motherfucking Whitestreak. Basically, she bites the tail and throat with the help of Martin. And the locusts take Paige and Whitestreak and fly off to finish the job. And the great thing about not having sensitive hearing and sight, you will not be blinded in death easily. Because I love their plan was awesome. It was like turning on blinding light and turning on the freaking badass loud metal and then turning it off. It was great. And it was great. And then you have the sharks in the bay. It's like, here, Sharky, Sharky, go get the angels. The bloody bait really helps. Because they were throwing bloody bait into the bay, too. So you have, like, all these sharks. And I bet the sea lions were scared, too. You have the sea lions there, too, remember? Yeah, the sharky sharks are there. Yeah, the sharky sharks. And then, this is like, I swear to Kami, this is the loudest headbanging party in the Bay Area ever. And it's seriously, rock on, Dito. And then Mom is commanding the cult members to jump on the angels. And the cult members jump on the angels and, like, shove them into the bay. And then they get eaten by the sharks. It's great. And Rafi and the Watchers are fighting Uriel's angels, and not the humans. Yeah. And then when Angel meets Watcher, they are like two feral cats in an alley. They raise their feathers and make their wings larger and spikier than before. I love the switch off with Pookie Bear. That was bomb. Lights on, Penguin uses Pookie Bear. And lights off, Rafi attacks. And then the Locusts come back with Paige as their leader. So yes, Perfect Cell is dead. And Paige is Queen the Locust. And then we have the drunk, the Sixers, the drunk Hydra's attack. And Uriel declares himself the undisputed messenger because Rafi is a traitor. Or Raphael is a traitor. And then the apocalyptic pestilence from the Locusts, from the Hydra affects the Locusts. And the Sixers have angelic plague, which is fucking crazy. So the Sixers have angelic plague. Holy shit! It was totally crazy. Everyone's just dying. And Rafi bites in. So Rafi bites into the fruit. So here comes the Demon Lord. So we have the attack of the Whipheads versus the Sixers. And yeah, the Whipheads are going to win and possess the Sixers. And Rafi gave up his Archangel wings and gave a new army of Sixers to the Demon Lord. And the human mob attacks Uriel, tear him apart, and kill him. Seriously, hashtag get wrecked. The Hellions lift their axes, chop off Raphael's wings, which was part of the bargain for protecting Pemberton and her family, and Pookie Bear falls into a thud. And even without wings, Rafi is considered the leader. And Rafi doesn't want to be a messenger because, like, convince a stubborn girl to admit she is madly in love with me. And it's like, see, Scott Spear, this can be done right. I can't wait to get to this fucking book nerd game rant. Because I'm telling you, Battle Angel, this is how it should have been. Or something similar to this shit. I'm telling you right now, this book was so good. I'm almost done, and then I'll get to you my final thoughts. Because there is a little bit of a rant that's going to be done. And I love what Rafi says here. It's great. So, Rafi, if it's not a pig farm that you want, what is? Pemron, how about a safe place to live where we don't have to scrounge for food or fight for it? Rafi, it's yours. Pemron, that's it? All I have to do is ask. Rafi, no, there's a price for everything. Pemron, I knew it. What is it? Rafi's like, me? Like, oh my god. I'm sorry, this is like the sweetest thing ever. I know it's cheesy, but it's like, oh, it's such a sweet cheesy. You have to admit. And then Rafi admits he was wrong about Daughters of Ben. I had no idea that someone could be such a thorn in your foot during a death march and still be irresistibly attractive in some magical, undeniable way. And hashtag declaration of love, and I love it. And Rafi is saying, see, Jax, you could have stayed. So I'm gonna say, people, you have to go read that book and you'll understand why. My watchers helped me realize that angelic rules are for angels. Without our wings, we can never be fully accepted back into the fold. There will always be talk of taking a newly fallen's wings and transplant them onto us. Angels are perfect. Even with transplanted wings, we will never be perfect. You accept me just the way I am, regardless of whether or not I have wings. Even when I had my demon wings, you've never looked at me with pity. You've never wavered in your loyalty. That's who you are, my brave, loyal, lovable daughter of man. Oh, it's so sweet. I love Rafi. Like, that's what I love about Rafi. He's so, I love it, I love it, I love it. Oh, this ending is awesome. And so now we're at the epilogue, or no, almost at the epilogue. So the angels are gonna go off to find Michael to make him the new messenger, and you have to deal with it. And the watchers are staying too. And I love Howler. Howler was funny. Howler has a problem, but only because the women will prefer us over their own men. And now we're at the epilogue, which is back on the old street, and I love how it comes back full circle. It's back on the old street. And the angels are going home, and well, one of the gangs won the turf war with the feather dipped in blood as a sign. And Layla fixed Paige. She's no longer a vegetarian, but she's not eating people. And she doesn't have the angry scars on her face or all over her body anymore. And she can walk and she can control her scorpions, and everyone is carrying rotten eggs just in case the Hellions attack. And Rafi has Belial's old demon wings, and of course, Dina is kept the RV. Those scheming bastards. Okay, so that's basically how the book ends. So let me give you my final thoughts on this series, and let me give you my one teeny problem I have. So, and yes, Penryn does keep the sword. Penryn keeps Pookie Bear because Rafi can't carry Pookie Bear. So here's my problem. The one thing I have a problem with, and this is going back to Angelfall, is going back to Belial being able to hold an angel sword, because he's a demon. He shouldn't be able to hold an angel sword, right? But then again, you have Burnt giving him, the Burnt Angel, who's dead now, keep in mind, giving him an angel sword and chopping off, and then Belial chops off Rafi's wings, and they are they're gone. So I'm just curious what you guys think. If the logic is flawed and that demons shouldn't be able to carry angel swords at all, because the angel sword has the ultimately, from what Rafi has said, the final say. So I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on that, and I want to, Susan, if you're watching this, I want to know what your thoughts are on that as well. The other thing I want to know is, what did you guys think of this book? I personally loved it, except for that scene in the beginning, and that love scene kind of bothered me. I was just like, I didn't like how it was written. I really didn't. I didn't like that one thing from Penryn. It bothered me. But I loved how it ended. One request from me would be, I would love to have a prequel on the Hellions, and I kind of would like to know what's going on around the world. So if we got like maybe a novella about what's going on around the world as well, because again, it's only focusing on the one area. So if you wanted to do another, well, all the angels are going home, so that's been established. But if you wanted to do like another thing about the Hellions after this, or do more on the Demon Lords, that would be really sweet too, because I would love to know more about the Demon Lords. So until next time, Nerdigans, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and please donate to my Patreon, because I really would love to be able to do more stuff on my channel for you guys, and including more eventually doing podcasts on this channel, because right now I haven't done really podcasts. I've just mainly done discussions. So until next time, again, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next Book Nerdigan discussion video, which is going to be A Beautiful Dark by Jocelyn Davies. Until next time, Nerdigans, I will see you later. Bye.